Hi, and welcome to another dose of virtual vitamin Z. This is DZTV for the week of September 21st, 2020. I'm your co-host, Stephen.
And I'm your co-host, Claire. Let's jump right into some Detroit Zoological Society updates for the week. Stephen, how did Sunset go?
Well, Sunset for the zoo was a great success. And in case you're unfamiliar, this was the virtual version of our annual event, Sunset at the Zoo. And there was about a 45-minute long video that streamed on Facebook that you can still access if you go to sunsetatthezoo.org. Yeah, I thought it was great. What did you think, Claire?
I really enjoyed it. A lot of inside videos on some of the work that we've been doing over the last several months. A lot of the important conservation work, important animal welfare work, and of course it highlighted a lot of our educational programming. So I thought it was really well done and a very exciting glimpse into the behind the scenes of the Detroit Zoological Society.
And there was a shout out to DZTV, so I thought that was pretty great. Go us.
This week kicks off homeschool days. So homeschool parents and students will be coming out to visit the Detroit Zoo. There is still time to register, so if you're interested in bringing out your homeschool group, please contact our colleague. Her contact information is down there on the bottom, Janice. So homeschool parents will be bringing out their students, exploring the zoo, what an incredible learning environment the zoo is, and it'll be really nice. It's supposed to be perfect weather all week. So if you're in the homeschool group, please contact us and let us know so we can connect you with the resources that we have available.
Well, tomorrow is World Rhino Day. That's Tuesday, September 22nd. And you know what that means. That means that there will be rhino-themed content on our social media pages, including a virtual habitat chat, which we'll talk more about a little bit later. But I, for one, am very excited.
Hey, Stephen, do you know what a group of rhinos is called?
I don't, Claire. What is it called?
It's called a crash. So we have a crash of rhinos here at the zoo.
Wow, that's one of the coolest animal group names I've heard so far, and
Yeah,
very fitting.
Totally have envy of that awesome name. Registration is also starting for Zoo Tots at Home. This is our popular program for youth ages 2 to 4 and an adult caregiver. We've put everything together so you can take the materials home with you, or we can mail them to you. We have on-demand videos that are being recorded so you can still enjoy all of those great adventures of exploring natural places, music, story time, crafts, lots of different activities. So if you have a young person in your life, maybe you're a parent, a grandparent, or a caregiver, please check it out. It's available on DetroitZoo.org. Look underneath the education tab and look under kids and families.
Now, Claire, we don't talk about this a lot, but I just want to say that is a really cool graphic.
It is a really cool
I really
graphic.
like that graphic, and I want to call out, we have an amazing graphics department here that does incredible work. So that's some of the work that they do, and yeah, it's awesome.
True story. Stephen, Animal Live Cam play of the season. What do we have today?
All right, let's go ahead and roll the footage. Well, here we go. It's the Animal Live Cam play of the season. Now, after a long summer 2020 season, it all came down to two contenders. From the Birds Conference, it was Piping Plovers with Piping Plover Chick sprinting. And from the Mammals Conference, it was Prairie Dogs with Prairie Dog digging. Now, last week, you all voted, and the results are in. So, the Animal Live Cam play of the season is Prairie Dogs with Prairie Dog digging. Let's watch the footage one last time. Enjoy. Prairie Dog digging, and we're going to be focusing on this contender right in the center. He's going to get started digging with his front paws, which is great, but then look at the way he gets the extension with those back paws, getting that dirt up way in the air. Now there's going to be another prairie dog who wants to get in on this contest, but the first prairie dog says, you know what, I appreciate it, but I can do this one on my own. And watch that. Look at the arc on that dirt. Pretty amazing. Doesn't get distracted, though. Sees that there's a jump yip going on and follows his role in the pack by doing the jump yip with everybody else, and then moves back on to digging. Another great job of getting the dirt way up in the air with that arc. Seems to have dug out one of his family members, so moves around while that family member gets out. Does some more digging from a new angle. We can see his front paws going, and then turns around and will actually get all the way inside this hole. And if you didn't know what was going on here, it might look a little bit funny to see some dirt flying in the air. out of the air like that. Pretty amazing. Back to you, Claire.
Epic footage as always. This week we have a new segment that we're very excited to share with you. It's called DGS Chef. And Stephen and I were challenged with being presented some produce and some other food and then being challenged to make something out of it.
Yeah, and so part of this is that we wanted to do something food related because Meijer is sponsoring this week's virtual educational content. Again, we really appreciate your support, Meijer. But we also want to encourage people to try out some different plant-based recipes. So as we roll this footage, you'll see that we both had an interesting challenge ahead of ourselves, but I would say we were pretty successful.
It's an adventure. Let's check it out.
Hi everyone, it's Sandy from the Detroit Zoological Society. You'll notice I'm not at the zoo right now. I'm getting ready to head into Meijer, where we are going to pick out some different items for our latest cooking show, which is the Detroit Zoological Society Chef. Join me as we pick out some different exciting items from Meijer, and we head in and see what we can find. First, let me get my mask on. That was a fun little shopping trip. If you see Claire and Stephen, don't tell them what I got. Promise?
We're just opening and looking? Yep. Okay.
Jeez. Okay. I know what that is. Okay, do that.
Okay.
It's not a
feeling good about
delicious,
this,
right?
All right, can we do the next tag?
Ooh, all right.
Nutmeg? Yeah, I have no idea how to cook that.
Okay.
Not the nutmeg. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Quinoa. Pronounced quinoa.
Quinoa.
So this was an interesting puzzle, trying to find a dish that we could incorporate artichoke, nutmeg, apple, quinoa, and white beans into. And so I decided to take the salad approach. I started with a nice bed of fresh lettuce, and then I cooked up the quinoa. First of all, I toasted it. I would highly recommend toasting the quinoa before you try to boil it. And I added a little bit of nutmeg in there as a way of incorporating that into the dish from the start. Over the quinoa, I layered some beans. And one thing that I would encourage people to do if they have canned beans is rather than just serve them straight out of the can, put them in a frying pan and add some pepper, add some salt, some other spices to it, maybe even some oil, just to give them a little bit more flavor and texture. On top of that, I have some roasted red pepper, and then I cut up the apples and put them over that. And then as you can see along the sides as a bit of a garnish to add a little bit of interesting texture to the meal, I put the artichoke there. So enjoy.
Okay, today I'm trying the new dish that Stephen made, and we'll see how this is. It looks good. It really does look quite tasty. I know that quinoa has not been one of my favorite things in the past, but we'll see how we got it today. Peppers give it good flavor. Very good, very good. The quinoa seems to be flying around on me a little bit on the table. Overall, very, very good. the apple gives it a really nice sweetness to it. Good artichokes. Well done. Overall, I'd say it's a hit.
So with the ingredients that we were given, I made 2 dishes. I made a quinoa salad that has artichoke and some red onion in it, and then it has a dressing on it that you can't see, but it's made out of olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and cumin. So there's a little bit of flavor in there, and then it refrigerated overnight, so it's supposed to be served chilled. And then I also made a dessert. So that is actually a white bean brownie. So white beans apparently are a substitute for flour. So I tried that last night, and there's some butterscotch chips on the top. And then it has the apple mixed in with some cinnamon, nutmeg, butter on the side, which has been warmed up to go with the brownie. So we have a main dish and a dessert.
Okay, so before I start on this one here, I just wanted to say one thing about the other one real quick. The fact that Stephen had used, what was the spice?
Nutmeg.
The nutmeg on the quinoa. That really set that apart and really made that, give it a little bit of extra flavor to it, which I really enjoyed. So I just wanted to touch base on that and add that in. So let's dig into round number 2. All right. Okay. Wow. The onions are quite strong. Quite strong. Artichoke is a little chewy. Okay. The quinoa is cooked properly. I will say that. Let's head over to a little bit of dessert now. Let's clean that palate up. All right. How about these apples? These do look scrumptious. Oh my gosh, this is almost like eating an apple crisp without the crisp. This is really good. The apples are awesome. So, bean brownies, that is an interesting concept. But as soon as I heard butterscotch, I was all in, as butterscotch is one of my favorite toppings. Oh my gosh. These are excellent. Wow. These are so good. Who would have known? Beans as flour. Yeah. A1 on the desserts here. Excellent. You hit it out of the park. All right. Enjoy, folks.
All right, Claire, go ahead and share our feature story.
So this week on Thursday is World Gorilla Day. So Thursday, September 24th. So we'll be celebrating the 3 gorillas that live here in our care at the Detroit Zoo. They're all related, and we're going to have some great stories to share, some activities, and a virtual habitat chat so you can learn a little bit more about each of these animals as individuals. We also are very pleased to share our involvement with the Gorilla Rehabilitation and Conservation Education Program out in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So Grace's mission is to help rescue and care for Grauer's gorillas in this really, their habitat has been really impacted by human actions, and this organization is working really hard to make sure this species of gorilla does not go extinct. So we go out and help with veterinary care and advisement and consultant. We also support them through conservation funding. It's a great organization. This year we've also been collecting cell phones. Many electronics have within them a precious metal called coltan, and that metal is mined out of areas where many gorillas live. So their habitats are being destroyed in order to get this metal out that we need to put into the electronics. So we've been recycling cell phones. We have over 300 collected this year. So that's 300 less that will be going into the waste stream and instead be taken apart, and those metals will be reused so we can lessen our impact on the environment. Beyond recycling, another great thing you can do is hold on to those electronics for as long as they work. Don't replace them until you absolutely need to. The gorillas are depending on you. Steven, what do we have for this week for the virtual education program preview?
Well, as I said a little bit earlier, this week Meijer is sponsoring all of our virtual educational content. So again, thank you so much. It's because of your ongoing support that we're able to provide opportunities like this to our community. Now, Monday, as always, 11 a.m., it's DZTV with Claire and Steven. And then at 4 p.m., Claire will be back to share a new episode in her Green Journey series on waste management.
Yeah, similar to the whole conversation we were just having about cell phones, I'm going to be looking at materials that have been salvaged from the waste stream and repurposed to prevent from having to collect new materials. So be sure to tune in at 4 p.m. for that one. Tomorrow morning on Tuesday, Danae will be back with a virtual habitat chat with the gray crowned crane at 11 a.m. And then Akilah is celebrating World Rhino Day with a virtual habitat chat out in that area of the zoo. So be sure to tune in that so we can celebrate our rhino crash.
I was trying to think of a joke there, but you beat me to it.
Sorry.
So Wednesday, something about crashing a party or something like that. Anyway, I'll work on it. So Wednesday, the 23rd at 11 a.m., David will be sharing another wildlife adventure story. Those are always a lot of fun. And then at 4 p.m., Barbie will be giving us a preview of Zoo Tots at Home. And I will say I've gotten a bit of a glimpse at Zoo Tots, and I think that this will be really exciting.
On Thursday, Sandy's going to be out with the World Gorilla Day with a virtual habitat chat at the Gorilla Habitat. So be sure to tune in at 11 a.m. that day. And at 4 p.m., Mike is coming back with some citizen science programming, so he'll be sharing more about some of those initiatives.
And then finally, Friday at 11 a.m., Zara will be giving a virtual habitat chat at the Japanese giant salamander habitat. And then finally at 4 p.m., Brad at the barn on Shetland Sheep Part 2 with Brad. Really excited about that. Those are always a lot of fun.
All right. Let's check in with Shelly to see what the weather's like out there today. Shelly, how's the weather?
It looks pretty good.
Thanks, Shelly. So thanks so much for joining us today. We're excited to see you throughout the week with our virtual programming. Until then, stay healthy, Detroit.